Thank you.
Mr. Richards, as UAH students, should we be worried about the possibility of our jobs that we hope to have upon graduation being outsourced? And as Senator, how would you look to end the outsourcing of valuable Alabama jobs?
I think we all need to be worried about our economy and where it's headed. There are some serious structural, as I said before, structural problems with our economy. And if we don't pay attention to those problems and don't try to solve, I mean, it's sometimes what we see government officials and politicians do is they do feel-good legislation and they kick the can down the road. And then when they get down the road, they see the can again and they kick it down the road again. What we need to do is to really create some serious solutions, both in our education system and in recruiting jobs. Alabama has done very good in the past couple of years with improving the quality of education. We know for many years the old saying was that Alabama would be 50 or 49 or 48 on as it pertains to ranking schools on education. We've improved considerably with pre-K education. We've improved with AP education and improving our schools. We need to continue to make gains in education, as well as we've done well in economic development. We've been recruiting manufacturing jobs and we've been effective in our local economies because of that effort. But we need to also expand those efforts to other industries to kind of create a diverse base and the economy of the future. And I think if we could do those two things, UAH students, when they graduate, they can feel confident that right here in North Alabama, right here in Alabama, they can find a job that won't be a low-wage job, but a job that they can raise a family on and a job that they can take into the future.
Mr. Sanford.
I think in order to avoid the outsourcing of the jobs here in Alabama, we have to do three things. We have to identify what industries are looking to relocate and pinpoint and target them. And then once we find out what those businesses are and how they're conducting their searches and where to go, then we have to find out, why. What is it that makes them want to leave Alabama in the first place? What are we doing or not doing that is forcing them to look to another state to go elsewhere? Is it an incentive program that they're offering? Is it the lack of skilled labor or workforce that we don't have? If we don't identify those problems and what their concerns are with why they're going to stay in Alabama, then there's not going to be anything we can do. If we identify the problem, then we can develop a solution. And I think with different industries, there's different opportunities. The sock industry, the socks mills in Fort Payne, they're going overseas just simply because of cheap labor. That's hard to combat when the average wage here might be $10 in a sock mill and it's $2 in Mexico. So we have to address why are they moving and when, and figure out how to make a preemptive strike on that industry and provide the incentive and the programs to keep them here.
Mrs. Hunter.
Education, I've made a cornerstone in my campaign. Education is a cornerstone in my campaign. And that's not just a moral impetus. It is not just a responsibility to educate my 3 children. This should be all our issues because this is so tied to our economy. Providing trained up and retrainable workers is the key to overcoming the golden age of America. If we don't want to be on the backside of that golden age in 20 years and be in the downhill slump. And the only way to do that is to train up our kids, to put you guys into jobs that you can work effectively. We've got so much going for us here in Huntsville. I was just talking to, getting ready for this meeting, I was talking to Bill McCorkle, the head of AMRDAC, and we were talking about all the places here. We've got Raytheon, Boeing, Northrop Grumman, we've got Bell, we've got the THAAD program, the Terminal High Altitude Air Defense Program. We build Avenger, AMRAAM, which we use in the Air Force. We do so much here, but connecting you guys up to it is the key. Getting our kids through high school is probably the first thing we've got to do. Our dropout rate is deplorable, is it not? You know, we have got to get our kids, number one, through high school. They just can't drop out because they have no chance if they're dropouts. Getting them into some sort of post-high school training program is next, and getting some of them through colleges after that. More later on that.
Mr. Daniels.
As Mrs. Sanford said, we have to find out first why these jobs are being outsourced. Why are they going to other countries? And I would like to think that it's because of cheap labor. I don't think that that's the only reason. I can't assume that that's the only reason that these jobs are moving to other countries. As a state senator, I will work with hand in hand with the state board and also post-secondary and K-12. So that we're designing curriculum as early as 11th and 12th grade year to prepare our young people for the workforce. Here at UAH, many of the jobs that are currently in the city of Huntsville, our institutions here in North Alabama are not really preparing those students to go directly into those jobs. That's why they're having to seek employment or employees from surrounding states. So first I will work with the college and universities, post-secondary and K-12 to redesign a curriculum that's aligned to not just, just industry, but also to other small businesses as well. So I think there has to be a unified effort among legislators and the various stakeholders in order to effectively have a program or design a program that aligns with industry and the jobs that you're seeing.
Mr. Wright.
I have a sister who worked at IBM, and she was outsourced to the Philippines. She tried quite hard to keep that job and was up in the middle of the night on the computer, basically talking to them on the phone and using the web. Philosophically, something you have to understand about things like NAFTA, CAFTA, and so-called free trade. It isn't just a cheap workforce. We exported pollution, food safety, and worker safety. Now this will eventually turn around. I can't predict when it's going to happen, but it will eventually turn around. We need to open up, I believe what's going to emerge is the Cuban market. Mobile and Havana are extremely close. Okay, so this is going to help us with farm products, exchanging farm products, processing of those farm products. Yeah, we have, besides Mobile, we've got the Tombigbee Waterway, which gets us up to the Tennessee River. That's going to be very important for us. We need to examine why we lost the Volkswagen plant to Chattanooga. We need to take a deep, hard look at that. We must consistently provide a trained and educated workforce. That's what's going to help our business economy here. Thank you.